Hi everybody, my name's Susan, and in this video we'll be looking at problem 47 from test 4 in your red book. So if you want, go ahead and take a moment to look at that problem now and pause the video. So what we have here is a description of two numbers. It says the greatest common factor of these two numbers is 10, and the lowest common multiple of these two numbers is 120. So they've given us 5 options and they want us to figure out which set of two numbers fits that description. So before we dive into those 5 options, I want to just step back for a second and look at what greatest common factor and lowest common multiple mean. So first of all, greatest common factor. Oh, let's use some sample numbers. How about 5 and 20? And we'll figure out what the greatest common factor and lowest common multiple are. So the greatest common factor is the largest or greatest number that both of these can be divided by. So in the case of 5 and 20, they could both be divided by 1, and they could both be divided by 5, and that's it. So the greatest common factor is going to be 5. That's the largest number they can both be divided by. Then we've got lowest common multiple, and that's the smallest number that they can both be multiplied into. So in this case, 5 and 20, the smallest number that they can both be multiplied into is going to be 100, which is 5 times 20. So that's pretty easy. So that's our example. Now what I want to do is look at these 5 sets of numbers and figure out which one matches the description by using process of elimination. All right, so let's start by looking at greatest common factor and which ones pass the greatest common factor test. So we're looking for a set of numbers where the greatest number that each option can be divided by is 10. So option A is not going to work there because 6 cannot be evenly divided by 10. So we can go ahead and cross off option A because it does not pass the greatest common factor test. Option B, we're going to have the same problem. 12 cannot be evenly divided by 10, so the greatest common factor is not 10. That means option B doesn't work either. Now in this case, 10 and 20, the greatest common factor is 10. That's the largest number that they can be evenly divided by. So that one we'll leave up for now. Now 20 and 60, we can divide both of them by 10, but there's a larger number they can both be divided by. 20, right? 60 divided by 20 is 3. So since both of these numbers can be evenly divided by 20, that's the greatest common factor of this set, not 10. So we can go ahead and cross off option D as well. Now, we've got C and E remaining, and they both match the greatest common factor test, so we need to see which one has 120 for the lowest common multiple. So the way we do this is simply by multiplying the two numbers together and seeing what we get. So 10 times 20 is 200, so that doesn't work, but also 10 can be multiplied into 20, and so can 20. So that does not pass this lowest common multiple test for 120. Now when we do 30 times 40, we get 1200, and then if you kind of process through working backward, 30 times 4 is 120, and 40 times 3 is 120. So 120 is the smallest number that both 30 and 40 can be multiplied into. So that passes both the greatest common factor and the lowest common multiple test. So option E is going to be the correct answer on this one.